If you keep telling yourself, I'll focus on me later, only to look up and realize another year has passed you by, then this is the video for you. Today, I'm going to share with you my 4-step framework that has helped me and has helped other women to finally stop putting themselves last and create lives that we love, lives that actually feel like our own. Maybe you're like me and you've spent years, maybe even decades, taking care of everyone else. And then you look up and you realize that you haven't been taking care of yourself. And now you're quietly wondering, when is it my turn? And maybe that's the way you feel right now. But the good news is it does not have to stay that way. By the end of this masterclass, you will understand the framework that has helped me and other women. Let's dive in. Welcome to this Reinvention Masterclass, and the title is It's Your Time, where you will learn how to finally stop putting yourself last and create a life that you love, even if you have been putting yourself last for years, if you don't trust yourself to follow through anymore, or if you're tired of starting over and over and over again. Who is this training for? This training is for the woman who has spent decades being strong for everyone else, and now you are ready to choose yourself. You know, you've just been pouring and pouring out, and you looked up and your cup was empty. If you feel like that, then you are in the right place. And it's also for the woman who is ready to stop overthinking and ready to move forward with intention. And then if you're a woman who looks successful on paper, but you still feel a little bit disconnected or unfulfilled on the inside, kind of like I did everything I was supposed to do, but I'm not quite content, then this is for you. But unfortunately, the training is not for everyone. If you're the type of person and you believe that you already have everything figured out and you don't need to learn anything else, then no, this will not be for you. Or if you are unwilling to grow, to reflect, or to make meaningful changes, then honestly, you won't benefit from this training because you will be asked to reflect on some things and to just think about where you are in your life right now. And also, if you're looking for a quick fix where you don't really have to do any of the work, then this also will not be for you because anything where you're going to get real and lasting change will require some effort on your part. But here is my promise to you. I promise to give you real value. I also will show you some real life examples. Some of the examples will be from my own personal life, some will be from my clients, but you'll get to see real life examples of some women who were able to reinvent their lives. You'll also get practical steps that you can actually apply and use. But in return, I'm asking you to make a commitment to truly listen, to listen with an open mind and see how this information that I share, how it applies to you. Today, you will learn the top 3 mistakes that keep women stuck, overwhelmed, and unfulfilled. You'll also learn why maybe some of your past attempts to change have not worked. You'll learn what to do instead so you can finally follow through and move forward with confidence, without fear, without self doubt, and without guilt about finally choosing yourself. I'm also going to share with you my step-by-step framework to reinvent your life without guilt, without overwhelm, and without burnout. But the first thing we're going to do, we're going to talk about where I am right now today. At this moment in time, I'm just very, very excited about everything that I have going on. I have a thriving coaching business after changing careers at the age of 56. That was this year because I'm still 56. I'm living my life with purpose, with clarity, and with fulfillment. I am active, I am healthy, and I'm taking care of my body on a daily basis. I have healthy relationships, I have strong boundaries, and I have self respect. You get to see the end before you have to see everything that I went through because it was not always like this. There was a point where I just really felt really empty and unfulfilled and misaligned. Like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to, I wasn't where I was supposed to be. And that was showing up in different areas in my life as it relates to my health. I was pre diabetic, I was in pain. I thought I was going to have to get a knee surgery because my knees hurt all the time. I had headaches. I tried not to complain to everyone, but I'm just sharing this with you now. The doctor had said that my cholesterol was high. He was talking about putting me on meds for that. I just was not in a good place with my health at all. I also had tolerated some toxic relationships, both personally and professionally. I had grown up in some dysfunctional situations, and because I hadn't healed from those, they played out in my adult life. I would help other people do all the things that they wanted to do, but when it came to me, I just put my dreams just on the back burner. Like maybe one day I'll get to them. And then there was a time where I truly reached a breaking point. So this is a picture of me. I was out. You can tell I was dressed up, but my facial expression shows that I just was not feeling it. A friend of mine had taken this picture off guard and posted it on social media. And I was like, oh, why did you do that? But when I looked at it, I thought, you know what? I'm going to take this picture and I'm going to have this be a reminder of what I was feeling during this time. I was going through the motions day after day, night after night, right? I put on some lipstick, put on some jewelry, try to dress it up. But inside, I was feeling numb, empty, and stuck. I was successful on paper. I had a job. I was married. I had kids. I was doing okay. But on the inside, I was really, really unfulfilled. I was functioning, but I was not truly living. I definitely was not living my best life at all. And there was a quiet knowing on the inside of me that there had to be more to my life. And so what did I do? I tried to change. I tried everything that I knew of. I bought new planners. I set new goals. I made vision boards. I did all the things that I was supposed to do. Now, these are good things and they work, but there's some steps that I needed to take before they could work because I kept starting over every Monday, every month, every new year, just like completely starting over. New year, new me. This is going to be my year. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm all for new year, new me. And I like a new beginning. But when you keep starting and stopping and starting and stopping on the same thing, then that does need to be addressed. And one of the reasons I wasn't able to really follow through is because I kept saying yes to everyone else. And as I said yes to everything everyone else needed, everything they wanted, I didn't really have anything for myself. I was filling their cup while my cup was empty. So I would get really motivated and I would start strong. Then, as soon as life got really busy, then I would let things slip. I never would have let something slip for someone else, but for me, my goals, my dreams, what I wanted to do, I would let those slip. And for a long time, I really thought that I was the problem. But it wasn't until I really figured out this simple 4-step framework that I'm going to share with you that things finally started to change in my life. So now I feel strong, I feel energized, I feel alive in my body. I work out on a regular basis. This is me right before a road race. It's a 5-mile walk that we do here locally. I go to the gym on a regular basis. I strength train, but I'm really wanting to take care of my body, to eat better. And as you can tell, comparing this picture to what I will call my before picture, I've lost some weight and just I feel good. Not having the knee pains, my glucose numbers are good, my cholesterol numbers are good. I experience joy, freedom, and adventure every chance that I get. That is me kayaking. I had gone on a cruise and just me just enjoying life, right? I'm traveling more, I'm laughing, and really living a life with no regrets. Because as I have gotten older, I've come to understand that I am the one that's responsible for me enjoying my life. Every chance I get, I will do something fun or do something adventurous. I'm also following through on my own goals and I'm creating new goals. There was a point early in my life, I had started grad school and I was going to go get my doctorate, but I stopped because I had a family situation that I needed to tend to. So, as part of my reinvention, I was able to go back to school and actually earn my doctorate at the age of 55. I'm also building my platform on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. I'm learning so many different things, and I am dreaming bigger than ever. I'm excited about that, and I'm excited that I also just to get to be an example because you can be in your 40s or 50s, 60s, and beyond and still start something new. You can go back and you can revisit the goals and the dreams that you once had. And I am determined to live out my dreams. So now I move with confidence, self respect, and peace. I'm doing work that actually fulfills me, and I am a woman that my family can be proud of. And I get to be a role model for what's possible for other people. And that's why today I am passionate about helping women to stop putting themselves last and to start choosing themselves unapologetically, but without the same pain and struggle and self doubt that I had to go through. Just as a recap, so my life before, I was unhappy, unmotivated, unhealthy. I was going through the motion and I was feeling stuck and fulfilled. And this is a picture that just kind of just really put me on the path to know that I had to do something different. Here are a few people in my life and just some of the things that they said. This is Yvonne, and she says, she's a testimony that if you can believe and work hard, you will achieve your dreams and have the desires of your heart. And then this is Key, and she writes, I have the greatest respect for Dr. Monique and have witnessed and have witnessed her incredible reinvention into the impactful leader that she is today. Watching her navigate life's challenges has inspired me in my own journey. And so, Key is actually a fitness instructor. She's fit over 50, and yes, she looks absolutely amazing. So, now I'm going to talk a little bit about my clients. I am a coach, and I basically do group coaching for women who are over the age of 40 or around 40 and up. And my clients, before they come and talk to me, they are confused about what they really want. They lack confidence in themselves and they struggle to set boundaries and are constantly putting themselves last. So that is so huge. Just not being able to set the boundaries and not being able to prioritize themselves. And they continue to operate like that until they learn the things that I'm about to share with you today. Because women who move forward is not that they have more time, and it's not that they have fewer responsibilities. They just follow a different approach. And this is what will separate these women who move forward from the women who don't. So here is an example of my clients now and the type of lives they are experiencing. So they are more clear on what they want and how to move forward. They are confident in themselves and their decisions, and they are taking consistent action, following through, and setting boundaries without guilt. Let's talk about some of the mistakes that women make that sometimes keep them stuck and some things that may be keeping you from moving forward in your own life. So, number one is overthinking every decision. Mistake number two is trying to figure everything out on your own. And then, mistake number three is putting everyone else first and yourself last. So, what does this look like? When you're overthinking, you just go back and forth on all of your decisions, even the small ones, right? They can be as little as what am I going to wear today or what am I going to order from the menu? Feel 100% ready or 100 before you take any action. You second guess yourself after you've already decided, and you just spend so much more time thinking than you are actually doing. And what happens if you keep overthinking? You just keep going around in circles, thinking, planning, researching, but not moving. You stay stuck knowing what you want, but not trusting yourself enough to act. You keep second guessing yourself and looking to others for answers that you already have. And you keep starting and stopping and starting and stopping. And the result of all this overthinking is that nothing changes except the frustration just grows and get bigger and bigger. But what happens when you finally stop overthinking? You get to make decisions more quickly. You trust yourself to adjust as needed, and you stop asking everyone else for their opinion about what you should do, and you start listening to your own voice. You move forward with calm, with clarity, with confidence, and you finally take action on those things that you have been thinking about for years. Because many of us will have these things that have been on our to do list. If you have a vision board, if you have a vision list, you've been thinking about these things for years. And when you stop overthinking, you finally get to take action and get those things done. So here's an example. This is Latrika. Latrika was in my first group coaching cohort, and she actually is still a client. She stopped overthinking and finally took action. She enrolled in college and she is moving forward with her future. And she says, what surprised me most was me actually sticking to my goals and not overthinking everything. So she's been able to make some decisions. So she's going to do a career pivot where she's going to be doing something completely different. And she's getting better with her boundaries and with her confidence. And it's just really rewarding to be able to watch her make these changes, because some people will have us to think that once you get to a certain age that it's too late to make changes, that once you've been doing one career for so long that it's too late to make a pivot. But it's exciting to see her navigating all of this. So let's look at mistake number 2, which is trying to figure it out on your own. So what does this look like? You feel like you should be able to figure it out by yourself. You don't ask for help, or you don't even know who to trust. You just keep consuming information, but you struggle to apply it. You start things, but then when you don't have the support, you kind of fall off. You kind of let these slip. This is where I was, where I would read books and listen to videos and listen, just keep getting more and more and more information, but nothing was really sticking. And I believe because I just didn't have that support. So, what happens when you continue to make this mistake of just thinking you can just be a lone ranger, as they say? You start strong, and then halfway through, you stop, and then you have to just start over again. It's a whole stop, start cycle. And while I'm all for starting over as many times as you need to succeed, there is a place in life where you can get off of this whole cycle, that you can actually make progress, make momentum. So you're not like a hamster on a hamster wheel, but you're actually going forth in a path that is leading you to where you want to go, and you're making progress. But if you continue making the mistake of thinking that you can do it all on your own, sometimes people feel overwhelmed when they try to figure everything out, but they really don't know what to do next. They watch videos, they read books, they take notes, but they don't apply anything. And they begin things with good intentions, but without support, they fall off and they lose momentum. Happens when you stop doing it alone. See the picture of the lady, she's just so happy, right? Because when you stop doing it alone, when you get support and people are holding you accountable, you can follow through in your plans because someone is checking in on you, they're holding you accountable. You stop feeling overwhelmed because you actually have guidance and you have a clear next step. Because oftentimes we don't have to know the whole big picture. We just need to know what the next step is. You start seeing real progress, and you start finishing what you start instead of constantly stopping and starting and restarting. And for the first time, things actually start to stick. Here is Danetta, who was in my first group cohort, and she gained confidence, stayed consistent, and started following through with routines that actually mattered. She says the most valuable part was being with like minded women who encouraged each other. So she's done a tremendous job in just gaining confidence and really understanding her worth and her value, and just following through on what is important to her. Mistake number 3 is putting everyone else first and yourself last. And while this might sound like possibly a good thing to do, right? To put your family or your career or different things ahead of you, if you are really wanting to follow through on what matters most to you, then this would be a mistake. And this is what it looks like. It looks like saying yes When everything within you wants to say no, you prioritize everyone else's needs over your own, and then you feel guilty when you take any time for yourself. If you rest, if you focus on your own goals and your own dreams, anything that is just for you, self care, self love, all of that makes you feel guilty. So you delay your goals because now isn't the right time. The thing is, if you're always putting yourself last, then it will never be the right time. And so what happens is your life keeps moving forward, but you're not the center of it. If you keep putting yourself last, you'll keep telling yourself that you don't have the time, the energy, or space for yourself, while somehow you make the time, the energy, and the space for everyone else. If you keep putting yourself last, you'll wake up years from now in the exact same place doing the exact same thing, except you'll be older and more tired and a little bit more frustrated that nothing actually changed. You keep showing up for everyone else while your own life stays on a pause. You feel exhausted, stretched thin, and quietly resentful. It's like you're supposed to be the main character of a movie, but really you're living your life like you're the supporting actress or you're an extra in your own life. And that's just not how it's supposed to be. But when you stop putting yourself last, you start making decisions based on what you actually want. You set clear boundaries without over explaining, apologizing, or feeling guilty afterward. I like to say no is a complete sentence, which is true. You carve out time for yourself and you actually follow through on your goals. And you get to feel proud of how you're living because your life finally reflects your priorities and not just your responsibilities. This is Erica, and Erica stopped putting herself last and she finally made time to build the life she actually wanted. She set boundaries and wrote her business plan. She says, in reference to the group coaching, this experience gave me the confidence and permission to focus on what I want. And she's doing a phenomenal job. Very proud of her. So at this point, you may be wondering, hey, Dr. Monique, I know what I need to stop, but what do I need to do instead? I'm so glad you asked. I want to introduce to you the Author Your Life Reinvention Framework. It's a proven step-by-step reinvention process designed to help you to stop starting and stopping and starting and starting over to finally follow through. When I was in college, I majored in English literature because I love to read. So when I think about life as being like a book. Sometimes I divide my different parts of my life up in chapters. I might even name the chapter. As I'm thinking about my life at the age I am right now, I'm like, what is my next chapter going to be? And right now, I believe that my next chapter will be my best chapter. And then if I have a chapter after that, then that will be my best chapter because I get to author my life. Actually, God is my co author, but together we are writing the story of my life, and I'm excited about it. And it is something that I can do with intention, and that I've been able to share this methodology, this framework with others. So I'm going to share with you what this framework is that I use and also the framework that my clients were able to use to build confidence, to take action, and to create real change. Because I thoroughly believe that we are designed to be the main characters in our own story, and that we get to write that story. If I get to be the author, then this main character is going to live an awesome and amazing life. So I'm going to share with you how that all works. As you can tell, I sometimes get a little bit excited about this. So this framework is 4 steps, and step 1 is to her backstory. So we're going to look at her story. Instead of his story, we're going to look at her story. So you need to look at where you are now. If you were to put something into the GPS because you wanted directions, they always need to know your current location. I can't tell you how to get to Mobile, Alabama if I don't know where you are now. So, as you are authoring your life and you're writing out your next chapter, you have to know where you are in terms of your goals, your dreams, and everything that you want. You have to know where you are right now. And this is where the reflection comes into play. Step number 2 is turn the page. Step number 3 is to rewrite the main character. You are the main character and you get to rewrite that storyline. Step number 4 is live the next chapter, but it's also called living happily ever after. So, step number 1, uncover the backstory, reveal her story. And this is getting honest about where you are and clear about what you actually want. So, at this step, you take a real look at your current life. It is important that you get honest about what is really working and what is not working, and that you clarify what you want in this next chapter. So this is where you let go of any woulda, shoulda, couldas, right? I should be doing this. No, this is where you decide what it is that you want. So why is this important? You cannot move forward if you are unclear. And most women are really busy, they're very active, they're very occupied, but they may not be aligned with their values or with their purpose or with their goals. So when you're clear on what you want, this clarity removes confusion and it removes overthinking. And it gives your life the direction that you need to move forward. So once you really get this clarity and once you really know what it is you want and where you are now, your life starts to feel intentional instead of reactive. You get to be proactive instead of reactive. So what happens when you are aware, when you are aligned? You stop guessing and you start making quality decisions. You feel more calm, you feel more grounded, and you know what matters and you know what does not matter. And you start moving forward on purpose, with purpose, right? You are moving forward with intention. So, why don't most people do this? They don't do this because they're used to putting themselves last. And reflecting on your life, on your past, reflecting on where you are requires honesty. And that can feel uncomfortable. And quite frankly, it's easier to stay busy than it is to stop and look at what you're doing to get clear, right? That you just stay in motion, doing things because you've been doing them. It's easier to stay busy than it is to get clear. So people avoid slowing down long enough to reflect. But here is Lori, and Lori gained clarity and direction for her next chapter. She says, "This experience gave me clarity on how to move forward. One challenge I faced was deciding whether to continue with starting my daycare or switch to a youth center. And this experience helped me to move forward with clarity." As I'm working with women, everybody has different things that are important to them. but clarity is essential. Any change that's really going to be effective for you will start with awareness. You have to know what is going on at this point in time. Step number two, and I just love this book analogy, but the step number two of the Author Your Life framework is turn the page. And this is where you get to release the old narrative or the old story. You let go of what's draining you, what's distracting you, and what is holding you back, right? We're just going to turn the page to something new. So, what does this mean? It means you have to stop and you have to identify the patterns that keep you stuck. So, as you are reinventing yourself, you need to take some time to identify what is keeping me stuck. What kind of limiting patterns do I have? What are some things I learned in childhood? What are the things, what are my thoughts that are keeping me stuck? And you need to let go of habits that don't serve you. That means you're going to have to analyze what you have going on. What old story do you need to get rid of so that you can turn the page and start a new story? You need to set boundaries with your time and your energy and release the guilt and the pressure and the expectations. So, why is this important? You cannot build something new while you're still holding on to the old. The Bible says you can't put new wine into new bags or something like that. But the point is, you don't start something new until you have cleared out the old. And it's also important because energy leaks will slow your progress. So if you don't address those things that are holding you back, then that will slow down your progress. Also, boundaries create space for your growth, and what you tolerate will continue. We actually teach people how to treat us. They look at how we treat ourselves and they look at what we allow to determine how they will treat us. So, if you're going to make some changes, this needs to be done on purpose so that you can start getting to the treatment that you deserve. What happens when you actually turn the page, when you release this old narrative, this old story? You feel lighter, you feel more focused, you have more time and energy for yourself, and you stop saying yes to everything that comes your way. You start to actually protect your peace. And unfortunately, most people never get to this point, especially women of a certain age, because they just feel guilty when they say no. And they fear disappointing others. And some people may be people pleasers. I refer to myself as a recovered people pleaser. I used to be a people pleaser. I used to be a perfectionist, but I have turned the page. And while I'm still compassionate to others and I still care about my family and I still care about my friends and I'm willing to help others, I am no longer abandoning myself to help others. I have put myself on the priority list along with the other people that I love. Like if you're on the plane and they drop the mask and they say you have to put the mask on yourself first before you help someone else, that is what I have determined to do. But some people are people pleasers. Some people are just so used to being last on their list. And they're afraid of what will happen if they make changes and they are no longer putting these people ahead of them. And some women have actually been conditioned to overgive. That when we were growing up, we were trained and we were taught to just give and give and give. It seems like it goes against our nature, it goes against our training when we actually make ourselves a priority. And what I've come to learn since I've been working with women is that most women do not know how to set healthy boundaries. Because if you have a person who cares about you, healthy boundaries will make the relationship better. So here is Monica, and Monica set boundaries and created space for her goals. And she says, I've become more comfortable setting boundaries and reclaiming my time. I learned how to say no or not now to my students, to family, and friends, where in the past I would have said yes. This is important because I'm going back to school to get my master's degree. And so she is a math teacher. Having been a teacher before, I understand that students can put a lot of pressure and demands on you. But it's good that she has learned how to set boundaries, which helps her to have the time that she needs to pursue her goals. So, this is my favorite step, and it's called rewrite the main character. In this, you get to reclaim your identity and reinvent how you show up in life. And why is this my favorite step? So the other two steps are absolutely essential. You have to know where you're starting from, and you have to identify all of those things that are holding you back. But once you have those cleared up, then you get to decide what it is that you want to be. You get to rewrite your story in terms of how you show up in life. This means you get to shift how you see yourself. You get to build habits and routines that align with your goals, and you get to show up consistently even when you don't feel like it. As you're going through your reinvention, make sure that you rewrite your main character. You are no longer an extra in your own life. Why is this important? Habits create real and lasting change because motivation will fade, but systems do not. It has been said that we don't rise to the level of our goals, but we will fall to the level of our systems. Motivation is related to the word motion, it's also related to the word emotion. And that's what keeps you moving when you feel like it. But systems will work even when you don't feel like it. And that's why it is important to be able to create habits, to create systems that will continue to work when you don't feel like working. And then consistency helps to build self trust, and self trust helps to build confidence. It just all works together as you are rewriting your main character, which really is like when you get to reclaim your identity, when you get to be the person that you were created to be. What happens when you start doing this? You will follow through more often. You will begin to trust yourself again. You'll feel more control of your life. But why won't most people do it? Most people don't ever rewrite their main character. They don't ever reclaim their identity or truly become the person that they know they want to be because they don't have accountability and support. Or maybe they try to do too much at one time. Like, let's say it's the new year and January 1st, you're changing everything. You're changing everything at one time. It's too much. You can't change your appearance and your health and your income and your job and your relationships and your boundaries. You can't change everything at the exact same time. You will become overwhelmed. Other people may quit when things aren't perfect. So I've mentioned that I am a recovered perfectionist, and there was a time where as soon as something didn't happen exactly the way I had planned, I would just quit. It was all or it was nothing. And that's a flaw. And that's one of the reasons that people don't ever actually change. Or some people won't change if they don't see immediate results, right? So they'll start a new habit or they'll develop a system, and because they don't in week one see exactly what it is they want to see, they'll just quit. They'll start a new eating or workout regimen And when they don't lose 10 pounds in a week, that's just forget it. I'm just done, because they wanted the quick result. This is Miss Inetta. She participated in the group cohort and she built consistency and finally followed through. She wrote, I developed healthy habits and routines. I even began going to the gym twice per week, and I'm 76 years old. The cohort that she was in is ended a few months ago, and she is still actively going to the gym. She has started strength training, and she is doing an amazing job. So she is taking back her narrative, the narrative that would say you're older people are weaker or they're not as mobile. And she has taken that back and started, not just that she has continuing to go to the gym, but she started going to the gym at the age of 76, whereas prior to that, she hadn't gone to the gym regularly in some decades. I just feel like that is personally amazing, and she is an inspiration to me. I know I said that step 3 is my favorite step, but sometimes I get a little bit maybe more excited about step 4. Step 4 is entitled Live the Next Chapter. In parentheses, it says reinforce. This is your grown up version of happily ever after. You're an author, you're writing your story, you're the main character, you get to write out the plot. And then if I'm writing my own story, surely I'm going to have a happily ever after. I won't have a thriller where the main character gets hurt or it's a cliffhanger. Oh no, I'm writing my story and she lived happily ever after. And I would hope that you would do the same. But my grown up happily ever after means you are living life on your own terms. This is where you lock in your growth so it becomes your new normal. You get to live the life that you have decided that you want to live. And everybody's happily ever after will be different, but you are writing your next chapter and you are living it and you are sustaining it. What does live the next chapter means? It means that you strengthen your new habits and identity, that you track your progress and wins. This is so important as you are reinventing yourself. Track your progress, track your wins. I believe in celebrating every win, big or small, because as you celebrate your wins, you are rewarding yourself and you will continue to make progress. I spoke earlier about a person who wants to lose 10 pounds in a week. But if I lose 1 ounce, it's like, woohoo, progress. If I can walk a little faster than I could before, if I can lift the weight that's a little bit more than I could before, whatever the win is, I am celebrating my win. And I encourage you to do the same, to celebrate all of your wins, big or small, and to track your progress, because sometimes the motivation will come when you look back and it's been 30 days or 60 or 90 days and you can truly see the progress. You don't always see much progress from week to week, but when you look back a month or you look back 60 days, then you can see the progress, and in that way you can really remain encouraged. While you're living the next chapter, have a vision, have a goal, build a plan for what is next, and stay connected to your support and to any accountability that you have. It is important that people are checking in on you, that people know what your goals, what your plans, what your habits, what your systems are, so they can just follow up. Like, hey, I know you were going to the gym every Tuesday and Thursday. How is that going? Did you finish your application for school? How's your business plan going? Whatever it is, that they can hold you accountable. And that is so important. Why is it important that you have a system? Because without reinforcement, most people will just fall back into their old patterns. Weight loss is just an easy example, but this is the same with anything. Let's say you have a goal to lose 20 pounds and you are diligent, you do everything you're supposed to do, you lose the 20 pounds. Let's say for an event, you lose the 20 pounds, the event comes, you look good, you got to wear that dress that you wanted to wear. And then once the event is over, because you didn't have a plan to sustain it, you fall back into your old patterns. And now you go right back to what you were doing before, and you gain all the weight that you lost, probably plus a couple more pounds. Whatever changes that you make, you need to have a plan, have a system that will lock in those results, that will lock in that system and the actions that you're taking so that you can live happily ever after. This is also important because you don't want to stop your momentum. Also, growth requires consistency over time. And this is how change becomes permanent. The new habits, the new things that you develop, the story that you wrote, you became aware, you turned the page, you got rid of all of your baggage, you wrote a new story. Now, this system is going to lock it all in so your changes become permanent. What happens when you do all of this? You stop starting and stopping and starting and stopping. You don't have to keep starting over when you finally accomplish your goal and you have a system to lock it in. You build confidence through proof. You create long term change, and you finally step fully into your next chapter. It's so exciting. But unfortunately, most people don't do it. And one is they stop when they see progress. And I talked about that, but when you like lose weight for an event, but that can be for anything where once you reach your short term goal, you fall back into your old habits. Most people don't have a plan for what comes next. Many people don't have any support or accountability because oftentimes we'll do something just because we know that if we don't, your best friend is going to call and ask you about it. So let me hurry up and do this because when she called me, I don't want to hear her mouth. So that's just her holding you accountable. Or some people underestimate the importance of consistency because consistent action will beat intense action every single time. You can help somebody that whenever they do something, they are all in. They're going to give it all they got. But the thing is, it takes so much intensity, it takes so much energy that they don't do it too often. And you have someone else day in, day out, every day, week after week, month after month. They're just being consistent. That person will have much more success than the person who will just do like a big grand gesture. Let's say in a romantic relationship, you have somebody who likes to do grand gestures. Love it, great. Ooh, wasn't that wonderful? But consistency will win out when they're kind, when they're generous, when they're supportive on a daily basis instead of a few times a year they do some big and grandiose thing. And that's what sometimes people do when they're trying to change things in their life. Here is Miss Danetta again, and it says she stayed consistent and she made it stick. She says being consistent and actually showing up for myself has been a huge progress to me. I can see the growth and it feels great. And just from interacting with Danetta, I can see the growth. I can see the increased confidence because she created some really good systems that allow her to keep growing, to keep developing, and she's actually sticking with what she said that she would do. Let's do a quick recap. Here is what we have learned so far. We have learned the top 3 mistakes that women make, what to do instead using my Author Your Life Reinvention framework, and then also why you don't need more time, more motivation, or a perfect plan to be successful. And I believe that you are still here at this point of the video today because you want clarity, you're ready to build self trust and confidence without overwhelm, without burnout, or without guilt. You also want a simple solution to stop feeling stuck and finally follow through on what matters most. And you know that something needs to change, but maybe you're not sure where to start or how to make it consistent once you do start. But you are ready to change that. This is Latrika again. She says she stopped overthinking and finally followed through. She says this experience changed my mindset and helped me walk in my purpose. I signed up for school and decided to change my career to something I actually like instead of doing something I've just done for years. I would highly recommend this experience because it connects you with like minded women who encourage you and hold you accountable. So she was referring to our group coaching cohort. This is Erica again. She made time for herself and created real change. She said, this experience has shifted my mindset from always wondering what others needed from me to focusing more on what I want. As a result, I drafted a business plan to turn my hobby into an actual registered business, and I've become more comfortable setting boundaries and reclaiming my time. I am friends with Erica on social media, and it's just exciting to see just what she is doing in her business now. The great thing about what I'm sharing is that you can benefit from what I learned. I had to go through years and years of putting myself last, trying all these different things that didn't work, starting and stopping and starting all over again, so I could get to the point where I could confidently choose myself unapologetically, where I could follow through and I could step into my next chapter on purpose. And I'm telling you, y'all, I'm living in my happily ever after. Option one, you can stay the same. You can overthink, keep putting yourself last, and keep starting all over again. And that would be the person who listened to everything that I shared and just decided, if I'm not doing any of it. You can completely stay the same, and you always have the choice to do that. But you also have an option that you can follow all of the different things that I shared, and you can do that and you can get results because, like I said, I wanted to give you something of real value. There's also the option that you can fast track your results. I share with you the Author Your Life Reinvention framework so that you can change the course of your life and you'd be able to fast track your results that way. If you're looking for support and accountability, I have created the Next Chapter experience. This is a guided group coaching experience. And this is for the woman who's ready to finally stop putting herself last and create a life she truly loves. This is not just a program. This is where your life will truly shift. It's an intimate coaching experience where you'll be personally guided by me as you apply the 4-step Author Your Life Reinvention framework. You'll receive support, accountability, and community. We have real conversations. This will not be me just lecturing and teaching with a PowerPoint like this. No way. This will be us having discussions, having real coaching happen in these sessions, and you get to experience real transformation, not just information. If today's masterclass resonated with you, I would love to meet you. I would love to talk to you. You can schedule your complimentary next chapter conversation with the QR code that is on the screen. I also have the link listed here, and the link will be in the description below. We can just talk about what your next chapter is and whether or not this coaching experience would be a good fit for you. So if you want to talk, please go ahead and schedule a session with that link. And then if you have any other questions, then my email address is on the screen. I do want to remind you that your time is now. Whether we end up working together or not, I do hope that this masterclass has reminded you that it is not too late, that it is actually your time. Until next time, be blessed.